What's happening, everybody? JayShockblast here, and I'm here with my buddy Tim, aka VenomExile, on that Xbox and PlayStation. What's happening, Tim?
Not much, just playing some Injustice beta.
Yeah, man, thanks for stopping by. Tim came over because I am terrible at Injustice, actually any fighting game, and Tim is my go-to when it comes to fighting. Games. You're definitely a million times better than me. Like, where did you start with fighters?
A million times zero ain't much, my friend.
Yeah, that's true.
But mostly, actually, I got my start on Injustice, first being a serious player, truly.
Cool.
I always played Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat growing up, but I was just, your typical scrub in the arcade. But I really picked it up with Injustice 2 and ended up in the top 1,000.
Nice. So, alright, we played a little bit of the Injustice 2 beta. A couple things to keep in mind. Number one, Thor is trying to get involved. But number two, we've got 4 characters that you can play as, and it's only online. So you can play as Batman, Superman, Supergirl, and Atrocitus. You played a lot as Atrocitus. What did you think of Atrocitus so far?
Well, the few things I really noticed about Atrocitus were that his frame seemed to be really, really slow. He seems to start up slow, he seems to recover slow, and so that seems to be a real problem with him. He does pack decent power. I haven't really figured out how to get hold of him, really. His ability to do damage seems great. He has a lot of buffs that are available to him that I just haven't really gotten into because I haven't studied the what they do and stuff yet. But he looks like he could be a pretty decent character with time.
So anybody that follows the channel knows that Atrocitus is probably one of my top 3 favorite DC Comics characters. So I mean, it's pretty cool to see him in the game. I think he looks awesome. We got one of his cool helmets with the horns. That looked pretty awesome. So in general, I think one of the things that I noticed as I watched you play is doesn't seem like it's very balanced. What do you think of gear so far?
I think that including gear in actual competitive online multiplayer is a huge mistake. I really do. Even though it looks cool, the difference, I don't know how they're going to balance this for stuff like EVO or for, their ESL Pro League that they had for MK on TBS and stuff.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I noticed. We went up against this one guy, all right, keeping in mind, I think by the time we were done, we were level 3, it said. And by we, I mean me, but by me, I mean him. So, but like, we went up against one guy that was like a level 11, so like balance just in matchmaking is weird. Again, it's a beta, we get it. Like, they're working some kinks out. But like, he was significantly stronger and had more health. And I felt like as I watched you, you were like kind of wrecking him, like as far as moves are concerned. But he just did so much more power that or damage that it was like not even fair.
Well, that's the issue, is that the scaling on the gear is incredible. I mean, that Superman I played, the base super health for Superman is about 950, and this Superman came in at about, I want to say it was 1085 or so. Mm-hmm. So he had about an extra 10 to 15% health, which is huge in a fighting game.
Yeah.
That's the difference between Zangief and Cammy in Street Fighter 5 rather. And sort of for that, and all of the ability power, all the offensive power, all the defensive power that I guess probably negates blocking and stuff, it really doesn't show who has the best skill right now, and I think that's my biggest fear of this game.
Yeah, and I think the thing to keep in mind is obviously this is just after, maybe about an hour of playing around with the beta, so it's really not like, certainly with time, you'll get better. I think one of the disappointing things for a lot of people that I'm reading is, they should have, I hope that as they adjust the beta, they make the move list at least available in the menu. I know that it's still really early and they really don't have to do beta stuff like this, but I think that was a little bit of a challenge for you, is like, especially a fresh character like Atrocitus, you kind of stayed away from Batman and Superman, characters but with Atrocitus, you were really trying hard to learn on the fly, and it was tough.
Yeah, that was honestly the biggest issue I had with the beta so far, is that if you can't access the move list or have a training mode, you can't really develop that sort of high-level play that you need. And so anyone that's been testing this before now, or anyone who's had access to it, is just going to wreck you. And the only real option to correct that is to go into your staples of Batman and Superman, where they have this exact same moves list, which is one of the biggest disappointments for me. For Batman, if you hit back XY or back triangle X on the PlayStation, he is still going to slap down those batarangs and have them explode like you've been doing for 4 years. None of the moveset has really changed for any character still in the game that I've seen so far, and that to me is a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar enough. I didn't play it that passionately. I really more just enjoyed, like, you know, the characters and the story and stuff. I mean, obviously this is a slight. I mean, it's basically the same game. I mean, it feels the same. It looks better. I mean, I think they definitely beefed up the graphics.
No dispute there whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we did a couple transitions. We got to play a couple maps. I think it looks great. I mean, I'm really excited to see some other characters. You know, real quick, just to wrap it up. I mean, is there anything else that really stuck out to you so far, just playing?
Honestly, it feels familiar, and if they have a large enough new roster, it will feel new. But it's still the same old Injustice. It coming from Street Fighter V and Guilty Gear recently, it feels really foreign to me because, again, I don't think I used stuff like the level interactions once, and I think I only used a stage transition accidentally. But like, there's much less emphasis on the throw game and stuff like that, and I feel like there's less balance overall in terms of how characters interact with one another. For instance, Supergirl can just spam that teleport because you're in a game without a dedicated block button. So the 50-50 options are ridiculous, and I think that it's going to be a problem to come.
So before we finish up, real quick, my dog Thor is trying to get involved here. So you know, they're announcing characters now. So real quick, give me a couple guys that you would love to see in the game that haven't been announced.
Well, I haven't heard Deathstroke's name, and I don't think he's going to be in there because of Deadshot, but I'm really hoping for Deathstroke. And as well, I have not heard anything on Doomsday. He was a personal favorite of mine in the first one. I loved his bruising style. I loved his ability to just move through opponents. I'm really hoping for him in this one, but I'm thinking he's probably got replaced by Blue Beetle.
Anybody new you want?
I really want to see Booster Gold in game if they're gonna have Blue Beetle, and they haven't announced Booster Gold yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like an emphatic no from Ed Boon.
I know, but Ed Boon is also
could be throwing us off.
Well, he often does. Ed Boon lies.
All right, well, thanks Tim for coming by and giving me some good gameplay to work with, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. And
thank you for having me.
Everybody say thanks to Tim.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. See ya.